I read the script and I was terribly moved by it and continue to be. You don't see old people and young people together very much in film. And if you do, they usually aren't getting along, or they're, mother and child quarreling or something. But I love this script because it absolutely shows you that love is every place, between people who are have nothing in common at all. But as they get more familiar with each other, love just is out there if you want it and if you will accept it. And I thought that this script, I wish the writer were here.
I wish Richard were here also, he's not. I was fortunate enough to read the play that this film is based on and to direct the play a number of times. And I was fortunate enough to have directed Gena in a previous film called Grace and Glory. And the character of Willie and the brilliance of Gena Rowlands were meant for each other. Oh, there are people upstairs. Hello, Malcolm. Are those the cheap seats? Anyway, no, the Gena is, well, you've seen her. You've seen her for many years, and you just saw her. She's an extraordinary artist, and this is an extraordinary character. And from the first moment I read the play, which I tried to get her to do, but she didn't want to do 8 performances a week. But from the time I read the play, Gena Rowlands was the woman that I wanted to play Lily. And when we did the film, I wouldn't say no. If she had said no, I would have thrown myself in front of her driveway. Until she said. So it's an extraordinary play, and Gena Rowlands is an extraordinary artist.
Let me ask you, I've been watching your films. You're just one of those actresses whose career I've followed and been inspired by to my own career and my own work. And there's something that you do as an actress, and it's in your close-ups. I always feel like from Gloria and Woman Under the Influence and all of the great films, when the camera comes up to into the close-up, there's so much going on behind your eyes. And I just wonder, because we have a lot of performing arts students out in the audience, how do you manufacture that for the screen? Because it's such an artificial kind of thing with the camera right in your face. How do you find that solitude and that wonderful believability?
Well, you just don't pay any attention to it. It's there, it wants to be there. You're not making it be there. But when you're acting, as the rest of you who are actors or writers or any kind of artist, you're not thinking about the things around you. It doesn't even cross your mind that if something's going to happen. And that's what it is here in your own work.
And how do you use your imagination as an artist to create that inner life for that specific moment?
I don't think you can really, as an actor, you just do it. And I just moved by enjoy movies as anybody else or not. And you don't think about anything except the story that you're doing.
I was just going to say that I was fortunate enough to study with and have as a mentor a great teacher named Sandy Meisner. And Sandy defined acting as being real under imaginary circumstances. Simply that. And Gena is incapable of a dishonest moment. It is simply not possible. Gena concentrates and gives herself to the moment at hand so totally, so completely. Her entire concentration, her entire being is right there in that moment. And there is no fabrication possible. She's an incredibly honest artist, and all she does is give everything.
If you don't like the script, you don't have to do it.
So again, for our young actors in the audience who are just at the beginning of their careers, you've had a career, you started out in the golden age of television and some of my favorite shows. I saw you did guest spots on Bonanza and the Alfred Hitchcock Show, and then you did independent films, and you managed to sustain a career over many years. Can you give any advice to our students about how you've done that and how you managed to reinvent yourself and consistently create these amazing characters?
Well, I have been very lucky in many ways. I was lucky in the parents that I had. They never said you can't do that, or you can't do this, or they never made things seem as if they were insurmountable and you were making the wrong choice and you should make a more practical thing. Obviously acting is not, well, they think it's not practical, a lot of people. And so that I had encouragement from the beginning. Always positive encouragement. And I quit college, and after 3 years, now you would think some parents would object to that and suggested I might consider the 4th year. But I couldn't wait any longer. I just couldn't, but it comes a lot from reading. It's this acting feels a lot like reading. You know how caught up you get in a novel or anything, even a newspaper. But I was also lucky in when I was born. I'm 84. I was born 1930, which was a hard period of time for older people because it was a very bad day.
Called the Depression.
Depression. I didn't mean you. But then, as far as the acting world, it was almost all stage. And then the stage, which my parents would take me, I'm from Wisconsin. My parents would take me to Chicago, where they traveled all of the big places from New York. So you could go up, we just lived, 50, 60 miles from it. And so there's that stage. Then radio suddenly became terribly popular, and so you could listen all of the time. And then television came in, and one of the luckiest I was in television was the fact that people, it was live television, 50s. The people took it seriously. The performers, the people who listened, they did Hemingway and Faulkner, Dos Passos and Shakespeare. Those were the scripts that were being offered. And then everything moved to California because California had the equipment. It had the know-how, it had the studios. The studios were all powerful then. And so we left very reluctantly. Lived in New York a long time. But my husband, I was on stage with Edward G. Robinson, which you probably don't know. But perhaps some of the older movies cut. And he was so gentle in person, it was amazing. And we played a play called Middle of the Night on Broadway. And we expected it just to run a little bit down. Instead, it caught on because Edward G. had so many fans from the movies. He was a marvelous actor. And he was quite old then, and the people followed him. So that man, my husband, who was not interested in doing stage work, but he was also an actor, and he did a great deal of live television. But that left him free at night, which I was working in. There were two different time periods there. And a lot of the other guys that we worked with hadn't done any live television. And they said, somebody tell us what's happening. Because live television was tricky. The lights would go on and you were supposed to come in. There were all kind of technical things that, actors, certainly they didn't have on stage or radio I never did, so I don't know. But they asked if he would teach a class and just go through the motions and tell them what happened. All right, I walk in the door and there's that kind of practical things. And then they kind of ran out of the practical things after a while, and our play kept running because people wanted to see it with Gena Rowlands. And it just went on, and so they started doing improvisations. I think improvisations are very important.